Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch One, and thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the Omega Speedmaster Automatic. This is the Speedmaster Reduced, reference 3510.50. You can see it and you can purchase it on our website, watchyouwant.com. And if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. Now you can see on my wrist 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference. The Speedmaster Reduced, also known as the Speedmaster Automatic, has the spit-in image of its big brother, or I should say its elder brother, the Speedmaster Professional, because this watch brings some refinements to the table that even the original Moon watch doesn't quite boast. Now 39 millimeters across the round of the case, this is a more moderately sized watch for those who don't prefer the somewhat oversized beveled case of the original. This is a beveled case for sure, but at 44.5 millimeters from lug to lug, you're looking at outright dimensions that are more akin to a 36 millimeter Rolex Datejust than the 42 millimeter Speedmaster Professional. Now it is a little bit squat and thick. This watch is 13 millimeters thick, in part due to the domed acrylic, but the acrylic adds a wonderful 60s style distortion, and it keeps a lot of the character of the Moon watch while bringing something entirely new to the table. I'll get into the automatic functions of the watch in a moment, but first I want to talk a little bit about this bracelet. Now this is an all-timer. In Omega terms, you're looking at the reference 1459 bracelet with 810 end pieces, and it's a little bit of a throwback in more ways than one. For one, it is one of the elders of the Speedmaster bracelet family, having debuted in the late 1980s and run through the early to mid 90s, but more than anything, it feels like a vintage Rolex Oyster on the wrist. In fact, I'll even go one better. It looks and feels like a vintage Rolex President. With the 3-link design, nevertheless, the links are much shorter than the 3 links of the Oyster, more like the President, and it's very silky on the wrist. It's light in weight, and it's beautifully channeled on the bottom such that it doesn't pinch skin or pull hair. It's matched to a secure clamshell closure with the Omega Speedmaster and Omega Marquee engraved in. It's actually a beautifully vintage-inspired piece that nevertheless has held up remarkably well, considering this watch is well over 2 decades old. We estimate the age of this watch to approximately 1993, and you can see some of the period features. Now in 2006, the Speedmaster Reduced was upgraded with a sapphire crystal, but while it may have technically been an upgrade, it actually caused the watch to lose a lot of its character. And you can see what I mean from this angle, as the acrylic distortion, that plexi perspective as it's sometimes called, dramatically changes at oblique angles and gives this watch a sort of 1960s vibe that puts it right on par with the charm of the Speedmaster Professional. Now what this one has that the Speedmaster Professional does not have is an automatic winding movement with a vertical clutch chronograph actuation. You'll note the action of the seconds hand. When I start it, it simply starts. It doesn't jump and then begin ticking. This is quite at variance with the Speedmaster Professional, which features a tried and true and very tough LaMagna-based caliber 1861, but that being a lateral clutch, it's both a little bit more herky-jerky in action, as well as incapable of running continuously without any undue wear and tear. Now, while you can use the Speedmaster Professional's lateral clutch for hours at a time, if you prefer center seconds, this is the watch for you, because with that vertical clutch engagement, there's no additional wear and tear when the chronograph is engaged. So rather than being dependent on subdial seconds, which you can see at 3, and which is your sole long-term resort on the Speedmaster Pro, on the Speedmaster Reduced, you can use the chronograph effectively as a center seconds hand to complement the center hours and minutes. Now it also features the pre-2006 dial layout with the Arabic numerals inboard of the indices from 0 to 60 about the dial. The proportions of the watch are almost neo-bubbleback. It's got a little bit of a Rolex thing going on, a vibe inspired by the sort of squat, tubby profile of the watch when seen from the side. Now 13 millimeters thick, it's not by any means going to be overwhelming to a sport jacket or a blazer, but a very tight dress cuff might have a little bit of trouble clearing this cantilevered tachometer scale. However, I do want to call attention to that tack because again, this watch, somewhere between 21 and 23 years old, features an immaculate tachometer that's really survived the ravages of time. Like the bevels of the case and the finish of the bracelet, as well as the acrylic itself, this watch is a little bit of a time capsule to the immediate aftermath of the fall of the Berlin Wall, the collapse of the Soviet Union, and the arrival of the grunge 90s. It's a wonderful throwback, and not just via its Moonwatch 60s imagery. The Speedmaster Reduced, or the Red as I like to call it, has a character and an appeal all of its own. With numerous mechanical refinements unknown to the Speedmaster professional, this is a watch that can truly stand on its own four lugs. You can see and you can purchase this Omega Speedmaster Automatic Speedmaster Reduced on our website, watchyouwant.com.